that we bought in this town. I always tell you guys, hey, don't listen to what I do, watch what I do, okay? We just closed a deal up the street in Boca Raton. You're like, okay, Grant Cardone either knows something or he's an idiot, one of the two. And if you just watch regardless of what people say online, I see all these punks clickbaiting me, talking about my real estate prowess, intelligence. Some of them scrutinizing me, trying to with their 2 units, talk about what I'm doing right or wrong, mostly wrong, what I'm doing wrong. But look, we just bought a deal right here in Boca Raton, 398 units. It was the second largest deal bought in the state of Florida last year. Prior to that, we bought a deal in Fort Lauderdale, right, Ryan?
Correct.
Port Royale, that deal was 553 units. These 2 purchases right here basically are about $350 million worth of real estate, $300 plus million worth of real estate. Before that, we bought Addison in Naples. That was a $70 million deal. We bought another deal in Naples. That was a $100 million deal. We bought Fort Myers. That was a $60 plus million transaction. Delray was a $70 million transaction. It looks like I'm freezing in here, but maybe I'm not. Nexus Sawgrass, that was a $140 million transaction just up the street. Now, why? Why Florida? Because if you study a couple things, first of all, migration patterns, you got to study jobs, okay? And you should look at what happened during COVID. What's happening right now? Along the way, I've been here 8 years. I moved here from California. I was on the phone with a real estate broker just 2 days ago, Jill Eber, one of the top real estate agents in the city of Miami. She said, Grant, the traffic's not just coming from New York and New Jersey. We are seeing more California people move here than we have ever seen. She's been in business 30 years. If you saw the video I did the other day from the FBO, did that video make it?
Yes, it did.
The FBO video? One thing you want to look at is look at jobs. Also look at your local FBO. FBO stands for what, Ryan?
Fixed-based operator.
Fixed-based operator is really code for private aviation. It's where people take their private jets to have them serviced, so they're not landing next to Delta or American Airlines at Miami Airport. They'll go to an FBO, and basically the private jet flies in there, gets fueled there, might hangar there, may not hangar there. We're at Opelika right here at Fontainebleau, Opelika. Big shout out to Bobby that runs that operation. I have never in my 8 years of being here, Ryan, maybe you can attest to this, never in 8 years of being here seen so much equipment at Opelika Airport. This is all private aircraft. I grabbed the guy that runs the property, Bobby, and I said, Bobby, what's going on here? He's like, Grant, these people are not visiting for the day. Remember, it's not Christmas, it's not Thanksgiving. We were there middle of the week. I said, what is going on here? A-Rod's plane was there.
Yeah, he said.
The big M was there. Who was that M? Maybe get him a mic, by the way, guys.
Yeah.
Who was that? Who's M?
It's not Modell. It's Money Aviation. It's something. Let me look it up.
Yeah. So look, what you want to look at is this. While Ryan figures that out, Ryan's trying to keep up with me right now. He has a hard time doing that at his young age. You want to look at migration patterns. Why have I been buying real estate? Put your money where your mouth is. That's what I do. You guys that are clickbaiting me, you fools out there talking about what I say, don't worry about what I say, worry about what I do. Watch what I do. Watch where I put my money. $160 plus million. No, I'm sorry. 160 plus. What was the other deal? $300 million worth of real estate purchases in the last 35 days. $300 million. Okay. I have my money in these deals. Our investors have our money in these deals. This is what? 300, how many, Ryan? 553 plus 398. So 115, 900, almost 1,000 units. Listen, don't listen to what I say. Watch what I do. Watch what I'm doing. This is 950 some odd units. Is that right? 951 units. Okay. $300 million worth of purchases, all done post-COVID. Now, these deals in the first month or so are going to do about 3 to 4% in the first 2 or 3 months of ownership, and then I expect they'll pop. Remember, this is what I'm telling you to look at. Migration, jobs, oops. Okay, COVID, how did they respond during COVID? These are trophy properties, trophy locations, spectacular pieces of real estate. You can go look at them both online. Our last 2 purchases, you can go to cardonecapital.com. You can see all our purchases. You can see 25 years of purchases. You can see all the investments we handle right now, 9,000 units. You can see everything we're doing. You can actually see on our investor calls what each of these are returning. Some of them are doing 15 and 16% a year. Some of them are doing 12 and 13. Some of them are doing 8, 9, and 10. And some of them are doing 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it just depends on the maturity of the asset. Why am I invested in Florida? Okay. And I'll talk to you about other cities. You can call in and ask me about where your location is right now. Migration, jobs, COVID, and also the 4th thing is look at that FBO. Okay. Look at that FBO. 5th thing I would tell you to look at is look at the government and how the government is treating landowners, landlords. What am I called? I'm called a real estate investor. How are they treating the investors? So let's take one of these at a time. First, let me just find a migration pattern. Okay, here. Johnny, can you show this particular migration pattern? Oops, let me see.
We got it.
You see it?
Yeah.
So this suggests American migration. This is back in 2012. Okay, in the blue line, let me just see if I'm just pulling this up right now. I didn't prepare. Inbound migration versus outbound. Red is outbound, blue is inbound. Okay, now this is 2012. This is 8 years ago. Look at the amount of traffic going to New York, Chicago, to the Northeast. It's moving to the Northeast, and look at how much business is going down to Miami. They actually had negative migration, if I'm right. Let me see, red is outbound. They had red going out of Texas. Most of Texas is pushing to Atlanta. Atlanta was pushing some to Denver. Okay, but you got a lot of activity moving down to the Southeast here. Look at all that activity bound up in Atlanta, Raleigh, the Carolinas, and down to Florida. That's what I call the Southeast. You've heard me refer to this over and over again saying, hey, look where people are going. So now I'm going to pull up this. Let's see, I want to see something more current, 2020. That was a 2012 map. Where people go, and all of you, you're hearing the news every day. I mean, Elon's coming to Texas. Let me see. Migration patterns in the USA 2020. 305-865-8668, 305-865-8668. Call me if you got a deal. Let me know. If you got a question, I'll try to answer it. Where did Americans move in 2020? Let's see. I think it says 1,000 people a day are coming into Florida. Okay. Number 13, Texas. Number 7, Florida. Number 41, California. Number 17, Colorado. Where are people going to, folks? New York, number 46 out of 50. Now, New York used to be a place where people went. You showing me or you showing the graph?
We're on the graph, G.
Okay, good. Let's see what's number 1 on the list. I don't know where that is. 37's Louisiana, 47's Illinois. I mean, that's way down the list. You got to want to be in the top 10, don't you? Wouldn't you think, Ryan?
Of course.
Of migration?
The states you're investing in?
Yeah, they're moving to Washington, number 6. They're moving to Oregon, number 3. Where would that activity be coming from? Utah, 28. Nevada,
Washington
12.
State?
Yeah, notice
California.
everything surrounding California is benefiting. Arizona, number 4. Okay, so let's check off the migration. You got the migration patterns, that's one thing. Then you got to start looking up jobs. Where are jobs being offered? Have you guys heard anybody saying Tesla or Oracle or who's the other big Blackstone or Goldman Sachs? Have you heard any of them saying we're moving to Washington, we're moving to Oregon? we're moving to Utah. No, they're not. What they're saying is this. Goldman Sachs, one of the largest employers in the country, is moving to Florida. Carl Icahn, his entire team is now moving down to Florida. Ivanka Trump is moving to Florida. Donald Trump is going to be out in January. He's moving his primary base out of New York into Florida. You were going to say something.
Well, no, I was saying on the migration, it used to be 1,000 per day moving to Florida.
Yeah.
Now it's closer to 1,500.
Yeah, exactly.
And these are people with money. So
Yeah.
even around Aventura, New Yorkers with money, they're moving to South Florida. And when they get here, they're like, why in the hell would I go back?
Exactly. And that has been going on for years. It's been called snowbirding for years, where people came down and spent 6 months of the year and then they go back. Now they're coming and they're staying. Why? Okay? Because you need to look at all these things. You need to check off each one of these. How did these properties do during COVID? Yeah. FBOs. How are the FBOs doing in your marketplace? Why is there so much private aircraft here? The worker's not going to come first. The owner's going to come first and then bring his workers later. Like the service comes behind the owners, okay? Then you got to look at home sales in your marketplace. So you got to look at who's buying what here. Home sales in Miami are exploding right now. I'm talking about $5 million, $10 million, $15, $20 million houses, luxury, anything with a big view. Condos, just to be honest with you, condos are pretty much garbage right now. Very, very soft market. I know, I live in a condo, but homes off the charts. Ivanka and what's his name, Kushner, they just bought a $31 million house on Indian Creek about 20 minutes from here. Tom Brady and his wife bought a $17 million house on Indian Creek, and they're going to tear it down. He's playing in Tampa with a home in Miami, selling his place in New York. You want to look for migration, home patterns. How did all this stuff how did all the properties do during COVID? Florida stayed open for the most part. So you got to look at COVID and the government. How are they handling their the real estate investors in New York? You can't evict. You can't get people out of the property. There's moratoriums on evictions. We got any callers? 305-865-8668. Johnny?
We got Majit from Kansas.
Whoa, Majit. Join Ryan Secco and Grant Cardone in the Cardone zone. Do you have a question or do you have a deal?
I got a question and I have a deal.
Okay, first let's go with the question first and then go with the deal.
All right, the question is how do you structure a deal with a developer who came to you? I have 5 acres. They came to me asking me if they would go 50-50 to develop 6 plexes on this 5 acres. It's next to an airport, like you said. People are moving to Wichita. So what do you think? How do you structure something like that? How do you go forward with the deal?
Yeah, you own the property.
I own the property, yeah.
Yeah, free and clear.
Yeah.
And they want to build.
He approached me. He's been looking for 3.9 acres, and I told him, I'd have to think about it, and I just don't even know where to start with it.
Yeah. Okay. So what does he want to build on the property?
He wants to build 6 plexes. He has an idea to build 6 plexes. He has the investors, so I wouldn't really be anything out of pocket, but he'd split it with me half and half.
Yeah. So what he's saying is you would donate the land into the deal. Yeah. Somebody's going to get a construction loan. I mean, Ryan, we were just on a phone call about this particular thing. You want to tell them how they laid that out, their structure? Your structure can be any way you want, but Ryan's going to tell you a structure that we were presented to on Friday.
Well, the first thing I would do is I'd ask the developer, right? Can you hear me? Check. So the first thing I would do is I'd ask the developer, send me your proposal, right? Because there's a couple of different things you want to look at. So when you're structuring a deal like this, if you're going to give the land, you want to have the exact split outs. Okay, what am I putting towards the deal? How much is it going to cost? Like, have all the numbers laid out, right? So I think the first step before you get into all the heavy mechanics is just figure out how real this person is. Have they done this before? What's their track record? Is the land even developable? Can you put on that land? Could you put, 6 plexes or whatever you guys are trying to do? So there's a couple of different steps that you want to go before you get into all the mechanics. But I mean, the deal structure that I've seen being on these setups is that when you're splitting these different things, there's usually splits up to 6%, 10%, 15%.
Yeah, so
20%.
this is what I would do, because he's just giving you a bunch of la-la. Just give the guy, tell the guy how to structure the deal, man. God damn. Dude, you need to put a valuation on your property. So you ask him, what are you going to value my property at? Let's say it's $3 million. Good. I'm going to throw my $3 million in. I want 12% on my $3 million for the 3 years that money's in. I'm first out on the deal, and then I want 50-50 on the upside of the goober-rooba. You got to just offer something, put something out there. If he can't put something out there, you put something out there and show an interest. Now tell me about your deal. Okay, next caller. Johnny, you guys got to pay attention to me. There's 3 of you in there running around like crazy people and nobody paying attention to GC, okay? You got another caller? Okay, so when you guys look at your market, where are you going to invest? He said Wichita is on fire. I don't know if that's true or not. I know this. The state of Texas, you do not have to do a Google search and have somebody hit you with another company's moving to Texas, another company's moving to Florida. In Texas, Austin, Texas, and then Ryan's going to help me with Houston. In Austin, Texas, you're going to pay a 3.5 cap to buy a piece of real estate in Texas. Okay, what does that mean? If the real estate has $100,000 worth of NOI in 2019, you would have paid, I think, Ryan, this is fair to say, you would have paid, what did we pay for that Austin deal?
What, cap rate?
Yeah, the cap rate. That was 4.25, 4.5?
It was a little over a 4, yes, so 4.25.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Okay? So for every 100 grand of NOI, you would have paid $2.2 million. Today, every 100 grand in Austin, you're going to pay $2.8 million for, okay? You're like, what's the big deal? It's a 30% increase, and rents actually flattened in the process. That's what you guys don't understand. There's tremendous amounts of new product in the Austin market. I'm just using Austin as one example. But you got jobs going into Austin. So people are actually willing to drive the cap rate down, okay? If you want to stay in Texas, if you want to stay in California, you want to stay in Washington, you want to stay in Portland, you want to go to Chicago, New York, New Jersey, you're probably actually going to collect a higher cap rate. I mean, you're going to play a higher cap rate, lower price. And there actually might be some opportunities in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Illinois, Portland, Washington, California. These states where they're leaving, there might be some opportunity right there, but I would tell you guys it's probably 8 or 10 years away. You need capitulation in the market. You need actually pricing to drop through the floor for you to go in there and say, I'm willing to take chances there. I don't want to take chances. I don't want to take risks. 5 reasons I invest in real estate. Number 1, I don't want to lose money. Number 2, I want cash flow. Number 3, I want the depreciation. Number 4, I want appreciation long term. And number 5, what's the 5th reason? I want to scale that bad boy big time because I can buy a piece of real estate if it's big enough. I don't need to manage it. I don't need to take care of it. So when you're looking at where to invest, Austin be hot right now. Houston's going to probably be a 3.5 to 4 cap.
I mean, everything's trading at a 4 cap, it seems like these days.
Or below, or below.
For sure.
So
with debt so low,
yeah. So
cap rates have really compressed.
yeah. So Ryan's saying, hey, with debt's going to cost you about debt to,
All in, 275.
let's say 3%. Let's say 3%, and you're buying a deal. You're buying a nice deal at 4, 5, 6, 7.
You're still positive leverage at 4 and 5.
Like we're buying 4s. I'll just tell you right now, we're buying 4s. You guys that are getting into this number right here, you're buying in the Midwest. Just do your homework. I'm not saying that's good or bad or right or wrong. I'm just saying look at the indicators I'm using. Migration, jobs, employment and or unemployment, okay? Job migration, people migration. Look at home sales in that market. Look at how it operated during COVID. I got buddies of mine that cannot collect their rent in California. They cannot get their rent. They're full, 99% full, and can't collect rents. They're collecting rents at 72% rather than the 99. What do we collect?
Well, I think that's to our point too. So the deal behind you is called Addison Place. We're at 96% collected. We have this whole year been in the high 90s across the entire portfolio. And it's just that stake in the ground of the nicer, the newer, the Class A with the amenities that we have in place. The collections have been higher.
Yeah.
than if you were to go to a B class or a C class apartment complex where you're collecting rent with a gun, or it's a lower class.
And the government needs to be on your side. If the government's not on your side, the tenant's not going to pay you. They're going to be like,
with the government on your side, these programs are going so fast. So when they upload to the website saying, "Hey, in this county, with this program in place, they're gone like that." So even when the government's stepping in,
Yeah.
the money runs out in 2 days. So are your residents really getting the benefit of the government handouts or whatever it is?
yeah. I wasn't saying the government handouts. What I'm saying is, I'm not talking about the checks, the COVID checks, the CARE Act. I'm talking about the evictions. Like, if the government's telling you in the news every day, we're going to defund the police and landlords can't evict you, tenants are going to be like, people that are on the bubble are going to be like, then I'm not going to pay my rent. Creates confusion at the property level. That's not happening in Florida. Okay, the governor of this state is not saying, hey, it's okay not to pay your rent. He's not saying shut down the government. Like, we've stayed open. Texas stayed open. I'm just saying, right, wrong, or indifferent. As a real estate investor, you need to know what the government around you is doing because it greatly affects your operations. Next caller.
We got Keith from St. Petersburg.
Keith from St. Petersburg. Tampa, or is it Russia?
Uncle G, I'm in St. Pete. I just moved here from San Diego.
Man, that's a good move right there.
Migration.
Sir.
Why did you move from San Diego to St. Pete?
I know, and I lived there for 4 years. I knew it was dumb. I knew it was a bad idea, but it jump-started my career. I got sick of the way they were treating me, and I'm telling you, there's people following me in droves right now. I looked at Austin. I looked at Austin for 2 years, and I picked St. Pete because it's an emerging market. Cost of living here is great. No income tax. The police treat me right. This is the place that people are going to keep coming to for years.
Yeah, I agree, man. You like it over there?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I've been an investor at Cardone Capital too, so it was an easy sell for me to come here.
That's awesome, man. Do you have a deal or do you have a question?
No, just more of a comment. When we were looking at apartments to live here, we were looking at stuff that hadn't even broke ground, and they're building complexes here in like 8 to 10 months because there's so much pressure from the top down. I don't think folks really understand how much pension funds are pushing to have products like this built so they can actually have assets to meet the money that they have in hand. They have more cash than they have assets right now.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think you guys. I know I'm out there here every day screaming at you on YouTube and Instagram, man. Invest in real estate, invest in real estate, invest in real estate. But he's bringing up a great comment. Money. Look at Bitcoin today. It's at 19,000 or something. It's screaming. Why is it screaming? Because people don't value cash today. We just printed more money. We printed what somebody told me the other day, 3/4 of all, let me just see if I can find this. How much money's been printed in 2020?
Money printed.
I think 3/4 of all the money that exist, the US dollars that exist in the United States of America.
It's not bringing it up with the first trillion, so that's let's see here.
Because as money goes down, if money is not valuable, okay, what happens is 21%, check this out, I just found it. 21% of all US dollars, 1/5 of all US dollars was printed in 2020.
What's the number?
1/5, 21%. So for every $500, $100 was printed this year. Now what does that mean? That means the value of the dollar is going down, okay? Supply expands, value goes down. Okay? So where's money going to? I'm going to go buy a house. I'm going to go buy an island. I'm going to go buy a ranch. All these things are happening right now. Then when you look at New York, when you look at these migration patterns, just use common sense here. Somebody lives in California. I used to live in LA. If I'm going to leave LA, if I've been in LA 10 or 15 years, where the hell am I going? I'm going to go to some city that is most like LA. Not like it, but like it, because it's similar, right? If I'm in New York City, am I going to move from New York City to Raleigh? Probably not, dude. That's culture shock at massive levels, okay? Am I going to go outside some northern New Jersey to Raleigh? Yeah, I could make that transition because they're similar. Check it out. The gentleman that just called, what was his name? Keith. Keith went from San Diego to St. Petersburg. Literally, those cities are almost identical in the way they look and the way people enjoy their life there. A lot of sandals, San Diego and St. Petersburg, a lot of water. Like they're very, very similar in how people live there. People will make moves that are similar. California, LA is going to go to Austin. They're going to be like, yeah, I could do that. There's cool people there. I could go to Miami. Let me tell you something. People that live in LA are not going to Orlando. People that live in New York City, not going to Orlando. They're like, dude, I need some crime in the street. I don't need Mickey Mouse in my backyard. I need some freaking gangster shit. I need some great restaurants. You're not going to Orlando. You're not going to move to a place that's like Disneyland. If you live in California next to, California, Scottsdale. Oh yeah, you could go to Scottsdale. You could go LA Scottsdale. You could go San Diego Scottsdale. That's cool. But let's say you live near Anaheim. Anaheim, if you were going to move all the way across the country, which I doubt, but you could, you're going to Orlando. You're really like, yeah, this is similar because Orlando, Anaheim, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, boom, boom, everybody's got it, right? But you're not going from Chicago, in midtown Chicago, downtown, to Tampa. Ain't gonna happen. You might go downtown Chicago on the Riverwalk. You might go to St. Petersburg. Or you might go to Miami. You may go to Fort Lauderdale, but you ain't going to Orlando or Ocala. You're probably not gonna go to the Panhandle. You understand? So you got to watch for these migration patterns. And when you make your investments, remember, it's not going to be 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. It's going to be 10 years, 15 years, or 20 years that you own these assets. Migration, jobs, COVID. Look at the FBOs. Look at the jobs coming in. Look who's moving. And then look at what is happening with homes. Yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do, right, Ryan? What are we looking at right now, Ryan? Why did we buy that last deal? Do you want to show a picture of it? Let me show a picture of this last deal.
Boca Raton, 398 units. Boca Raton.
I can't even tell you guys the price we paid for this deal. I can tell you it was on the market for almost $170 million. Oh, did they take their website down already?
We're actually transferring it over to 10X Boca today.
Yeah, but
So we're in the
why
process.
unable to connect? Why did they take it down? That's sad.
2 hours ago, I was on the call with tech. It will be up and give it 60 minutes.
Okay. 10X Boca Raton?
Yeah, it's going to be 10X Boca.
Yeah, but why'd they take the other one down while we're doing that? That's sad, man. Really sad. Really sad. Okay. 305-865-8668. 305-865-8668. I need a hand. Show me how many. 305-865-8668. If you're enjoying the show, you like all my fast talking, popping stuff out, giving you a lot of information. If you like that, give me a thumbs up, bitches.
Look,
Don't be a bitch. Don't be an investor. Don't be a bitch is what I say.
There's nobody doing this, Grant, what you're doing. I mean, I've listened to a lot of slow talkers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
A lot of people who just write books. There's nobody who's actually a practitioner who has $2 billion worth of assets who's showing up on Monday.
$2.3 billion worth of assets. Nobody wants to tell you what my shit's really worth. And hey, all you guys that are clickbaiting me out there, talking about me, judging me, do you see all these guys out there right now that are evaluating our funds?
I pay no attention, Grant, because I know we're going to 40,000 units.
Yeah, you guys are a joke. You guys are a joke. Before you take advice from somebody, watch some punk talking about what I own, how I operate, how I buy things, how it works. Dude, why don't you look at their bank account? I mean, it's sad. The guy having trouble filling up his own gas tank. I'm just saying, like, don't judge me based on what I say. Judge me based on what I do. And I've been telling you guys for years, man, don't buy homes. You might want to buy one right now in the right place. I'm just telling you, right now, it's about to scream. This is not going to stop either.
Well, and I think, to your point on this first, because I get a lot of questions from people talking about the first-time home buyer. I think your message is very clear. When you're getting out of college or when you're trying to build a business or build a name for yourself, the first thing you don't want to do is go and buy a house.
Yeah, you
Because
want to
you're
invest.
trapped in a location, you're trapped in a city, and you don't have the mobility.
Yeah.
Now, people with money, somebody called me the other day, Cody called me the other day, he's got $1 million, right?
Yeah.
He's like, hey, should I buy a house? I'm like, in the right location in Boca.
Yeah.
In the right spot with the growth, you may want to look at putting 5 or 10% down because he has the money, he has the
100%.
flexibility to actually do this. But the guys who are new, don't go out and buy your first house. Go and try to get more creative buying a duplex or a fourplex where you can generate cash flow.
Yeah. And
actually
you
get
guys that went ahead and bought a house in the wrong place, I always tell you, man, you're stuck there now. And you can't make your move right now when the money moves. Money moves. Silicon Valley is going to dump out. I've been saying that it's one of the most unpopular things I say. Silicon Valley is going to dump out. And everybody's like, that's so stupid. Facebook ain't leaving. Oracle is leaving. Oracle was one of the first companies there. The ground that Apple Computer is on today. Let's see, who originally owned the Apple campus? Who owned the Apple campus?
You know, that thing is awesome.
Yeah.
The Apple campus.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
But Apple's already moved into Austin. They're not going to keep building out Silicon Valley. It's unaffordable. And I've been saying for a long time, who owns the Apple campus? Let me see. Who originally owned the Apple campus? But this is what I do in my free time, dude. All I'm doing is research all the time about where people move into. Who originally owned? I know none of you guys want to help me in there while I'm looking up stuff.
What do you need?
If you guys ever want to just come up with an answer while I'm looking, man, I mean, I'm not gonna hold that against you guys.
You're not going to fight it?
I'm not gonna be like, yeah, it wasn't Qualcomm. Who originally owned that thing? Maybe you guys know. Oracle is moving its headquarters from Silicon Valley to Austin, Texas. Apple's already moved to Austin, Texas. They also keeping their operations in Silicon, but Tesla's moving out and moving to Texas.
One of their campuses.
Joe Rogan moved. I mean, you can see all these celebrities are going to start moving. When they start moving, why do you think Tom Brady and what's her name, the model, are moving, selling their $40 million house in the Hamptons, moving down to Miami on Indian Creek, okay? Goldman Sachs is moving down here. Blackstone is moving down here. Folks, what happens when the executives move down here? What do you think they're going to buy? They're either going to buy a house with a big view, and they don't have that many here. Come to Miami. See how many shit homes they have in this city. Mostly garbage homes. Not like California where you got $50 million, $40 million brand new homes built, beautiful views, a lot of money spent on the houses. They don't have that in Miami. So what you're going to have in Miami is a big rehab. Next 10 years, you're going to have massive rehab. Everything with an ocean view, water view, lake view, river view will have a big renovation. That's going to be good for jobs here.
The land was originally owned by Four Phase Systems.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man. Thank you. But
Nice.
that's not, let me see, man. There was another group that sold, they bought it and then sold it. Anyway, you get my point.
Required by Motorola.
Required by Motorola. Motorola dumped. Okay? So, what are you shopping for? What are you looking for? Real estate is where you want to be, folks, because dollars are being devaluated. 20% of all the money has been created. This is the U.S. dollar. Okay, Bitcoin's having this joy ride. It could go to 100. It could go to 200,000. Okay, it could replace gold as a safe standard. This dollar could be destroyed in your lifetime. My real estate will never be destroyed. It's going to get more and more desirable. Home prices in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Broward County, Dade County, up 43% this year. Mid-COVID, this is insane, okay? People from New York coming down here saying, I'll take it, $5 million seems cheap to me. And everybody else was like, this is way overpriced. New York's moving in here and saying it's not overpriced. 305-865-8668. Ryan Secco's with me behind the mic today. We don't get him much and he sounds good. Let me hear a good.
So good to be.
Let me hear cash flow.
Cash flow?
Yeah, so our newest deal, our St. Lucie deal, no, not our St. Lucie.
Boca.
The one we did before that, the 553.
Port Royale.
Port Royale is going to do what? 3% the first month?
It's gonna do 3 to 4% first month.
Yeah, it's going to do closer to 3% the first
But we
month.
knew that going in.
Yeah, but guys, that's COVID. That's COVID. So you need to look at your COVID moment.
We got Nathan from Pennsylvania.
Nathan from the PA. What's up going on?
Deal or question?
Hey, Grant.
Nathan, before
Great
you ask the
show
question,
today.
let me just finish something real quick, okay? Our Port Royale deal, how much money did we raise on that, Ryan?
We raised close to $50 million.
$50 million, okay? The first month out, it's going to pay 3% annualized. You're like, dude, 3% is nothing. That's after all the fees and everything, okay? So this year, if it stays at that rate, it's going to pay $1.5 million. For us to wait for rents to go up. This is happening right now. That's why you guys see me keep making investments in Florida. But check this out. This is COVID This is concessions. This is new product in the marketplace. They're building out new product. So rents will soften and sag. I've said this for now, probably a year and a half. You will have a sag probably 2020, 2021, maybe even early 2022. You'll have a sag and then rents will boom again. If you watch rents, they sag out, they flatten out, they soften out for a while, and then they explode again. Everybody's like, you'll be bitching in 2023 about these rent. You'll be like, I wish I had that 2020 rent back, okay? But watch what happens as well. Next door to me, we paid $220,000 a door, I think, right, Ryan?
Correct.
Is that right? Next door to me, and when I say next door, Ryan, how close am I talking about?
10 feet.
10 feet next door. I'm talking about going down the driveway and you turn this way and you're at my property. You go that way and you're at their property. Okay, what did they pay?
100 grand more.
They paid $330,000 a door. Okay, these rents, what are our rents over here?
1,800
$1,800.
to, call it 22.
My neighbor has to rent what I rent for $1,800. He has to rent for $2,800. And we just got the news Friday. I just got the news Friday. This one won't even be in an apartment building in the future. They're going to convert it to condos and sell them each for $300,000 a unit. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, they're going to sell them for $500,000 a unit. Pick up $170 each, and I'll bet you their timing's perfect. Who was the group that bought that deal? USAA.
No, let me look at
You should know these things, Ryan. You should know these things. Moderna is the property. Moderna.
It's Madera.
Madera is the property if you want to check it out. That's why I say, watch what I do. You guys, January 6th, Undercover Billionaire. Watch what I do. Don't listen to the bullshit I tell y'all. Blah, 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 blah. Just watch what I'm doing. Don't just listen to what I'm saying. This property we just bought, the LT's property, and I'll take my caller, okay? It's a $160 million plus deal, not exactly, okay? I'm not telling you the exact number. $65 million of equity in this deal, somewhere thereabout. I'm keeping half of this for myself. That's how much I believe in the deal. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. I'm going to put a trust. I'm going to create a trust, hold 30 million of the deal, and hold it out for, who knows, 10 or 15 or 20 years. We'll scream. Congratulations to all our investors in that deal, by the way. It's going to be a freaking screamer. Caller. Go ahead, man.
The caller?
Yeah, sorry, brother. What's up?
Okay. I'm loving everything you're saying. I'm over here watching you on the board. I had a question. I'm getting ready to start a multifamily campaign to find motivated sellers. Are you here? Oh, to find motivated sellers, and I'm wondering, have you tested or tried texting just to make the cold call a little less cold in the multifamily? Does that work? Because I know it works well in the single family. Have you tried that?
No, I haven't tried that because, basically we have people sending us deals every day, so I don't have to call cold. I got people sending me deals, right, Ron? Is that what he's asking?
Are you asking for, you're trying to get new deals and you want to send text messages instead of cold calling people?
Yeah, because in the single family home game right now, their texting is going crazy to start off, just to get them on the phone. I was wondering if you think that will work in the multifamily game as well.
Well, look, guys, here's the deal, okay? Buying off market. I know it sounds good that you're going to buy off market. Oh, you're not going to have competition. You're going to pay, I believe, you're going to pay more trying to buy a deal off market than you're going to pay buying a deal on market. So like we're working a deal right now. It's a $100 million deal. They expected what, 108? They thought the deal was going to go down at 108. If I'd have gone for this deal off market, okay, it would have required 108 to buy the deal. The moment 3 guys came in or 4 guys came in and said, hey, what's the market really say it's worth? To be determined by the market. Market is what? Me and 2 other groups. 2 other groups came in and said, hey, this deal's worth $100 million. And then there was only 1 guy left standing, me. Because the guy that said it was worth 100 wouldn't close the deal. So there I am. Now what's the market? I don't know, it's somewhere around here. If I'd have gone after that deal off market, I'd end up paying too much for that property. Sometimes you want competition on a deal. So for me to cold call this guy that owns this deal, first of all, that's not going to work because you're texting who? Okay. Now, let's say you got a deal over here for $1.8 million. You might be able to text him, I'm interested in your property. But before I text him, I'm just going to go find out who it is. If you're cool enough to know what his number is, why don't you just go see him and say, hey, I want to buy your property and I'm willing to overpay for it, because that's what it's going to take to buy something off market. Next caller. Ryan Secco's with me, Grant Cardone, Cardone Zone. Every Monday, I come to you to talk about real estate investing. I know I'm giving you guys a lot to eat, a lot to chew, a lot to digest.
We got Kelsey from North Carolina.
Kelsey, what's going on? Your market is booming, by the way.
Hi, Grant. I'm so excited. I'm going to be here with you this weekend for the accelerator too. So.
Oh, that's awesome, Kelsey. What kind of real estate? You got a deal or you got a question?
I have a general question.
Okay.
So I have a single family home that I'm renting out. It has almost $100,000 in equity that's built over the past 3 years. I'm just trying to figure out what our next move should be. My husband's a veteran, so we have the VA loan, and I know that we could get like a fourplex with a VA loan.
Yeah.
But I know that you say not to do anything smaller than 16 units. I don't know if I should raise the funds to do, because there's tons of new construction coming around. Because everybody's moving here, so I don't know if I should wait a couple years to get the capital.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't wait, Kelsey, and I definitely would consider the fourplex. You guys, when I wrote the book, How to Create Wealth Investing in Real Estate, I was making a suggestion. Stay with 16 units or more. 32 is preferred. But look, if your way to get in the game is to start with 4, you know your market, you got a great location, it cash flows right now, you can get a great loan. You are in the perfect market at the perfect time right now. Raleigh, all the Carolinas, all that Durham, everything up there is going to continue to explode. There's no stopping it, folks. Okay, you cannot stop this. How many people live in New York City? They ain't all going to leave, by the way. All of New York City is not going to leave, but a bunch of them are going to leave and they're never going to go back except to visit maybe one day. And new people will go into...
$399 million.
How many?
8.399 million.
Yeah, but I bet you that's in New York City in Manhattan. I bet if you look New York, you're going to see like some bigger number, like 18 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, if 2% of those people move out, you're talking 360,000 people a year.
19.4 billion.
19 million. Now we get into the real juice. If 10% of them leave, that's 2 million people that are going to leave the state of New York. All you got to do is listen to the news, man. Go turn CNBC on. Watch these companies. When Goldman Sachs says, I'm leaving, and they're going to go to Miami. They're not going to Florida, by the way. Don't confuse Florida with Miami. So many of my friends say, man, you moved to Florida. I didn't move to Florida, bitch. I moved to Miami. And Miami is unbelievable. This is a completely different place. Okay. Your next stop is get an island in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hey, Kelsey, what I would do is I would refinance your house, grab your money out of it. Rates are cheap right now. I'd get your money out of your house, maybe even turn that into a rental. I'd go buy that fourplex that you got your mind on, see if you could do that 2 or 3 times and get you 16 units like that in the same neighborhood, though. You don't have to move 16 at one time, but if you can think like that, if you can raise the money, I would recommend you go the 16 or the 32 units. The more units, the more you're going to enjoy the upside of what is about to happen to the backside. As people leave these places, California will go ruin Arizona. Okay? New York will try to ruin Miami. They will. They'll come down here and try to mess it all up. They'll do to their own damn city what they did. They'll do it to here, what they did there, what they left. And then there'll be another migration to another place. Who knows? Maybe people start leaving America. Okay? Passport offices. Research. Passports in America. What's going on with passports? They're having to hire more people to process multiple passports. Let me see. I was researching this weekend. Passport request to leave America. It's happening all over the world, by the way. You got migration patterns all over the planet. Man, this COVID thing took the lid off, huh? Freaked out a lot of people. Freaked me out. Shit, freaked me out. And I just kept buying real estate.
For a hot second, it freaked
Okay.
you out.
Okay.
Then you settled down.
Real assets go up in value when paper assets get destroyed. All we need now, Ryan, is the stock market to roll over, take a shit.
And I think that's coming.
I hope so.
It's just
I'm hoping for like 9 or 10,000 point drop, just a wham, a crush.
who they gonna call?
Who they gonna call? Call Cardone Capital, because Ghostbusters cannot help you. Go ahead, Ron.
Just to circle back on who bought that property, because I
Yeah.
think it's important. Northwestern Mutual
Yes.
bought Port Royal Madera next door to us.
Yeah. Northwestern Mutual. What are they worth, by the way?
Let me see how many billions they control. So Northwestern Mutual is based in New York.
The UK is reportedly granting a record 5 passports a minute
Wow.
to Hong Kong residents. China wants to go to the UK. Okay. The United States is having to expand their passport offices just to respond to requests on passports. So what happens? People migrate from New York City to Miami. They ruin Miami. LA goes to Arizona, ruins Arizona. People get richer and richer and say, shit, you know what? It's time for me to go to the Maldives. It's time for me to go to Greece. I'm going to go be a damn statue in the Greeks. With the Greeks, they left Greece, they come over here, and they go back over there. I'm going to go get a place. Where's that other place we went to? Malta. I'm going to Malta. Hey, let's go back to Italy. Let's go become Italian farmers. I'm going to grow great wines. And dude, you know, rich people do what they want to do. They're like, shit, I'm out of here. Okay? Hey, my name's Grant Cardone. You've been watching the Cardone Zone. We got any more callers?
We got Zach from Philly.
Zach from Philly. Zach, hey, Zach, you guys still counting votes up there?
Not sure, Grant. I'm focused on trying to make more money.
We're going to be in Philly tomorrow, right? We're going to be in Pennsylvania. When? Wednesday morning. Hey, dude, where are we going into?
Trenton.
How far are you from Trenton?
From Trenton, 45 minutes.
Why don't you come see me? Why don't you come see me in Trenton? Let's do some business together. You meet me at the FBO. We'll get a selfie together.
Get out of here.
Seriously.
When are you going to be there?
What FBO are we going into? Trenton. We're going into Trenton, New Jersey, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be there around, 10 o'clock, 10:30 in the morning?
10 a.m.
Yeah, I'm going to look at
Atlantic Aviation.
Atlantic Aviation. I'm going to go and look at a special piece of equipment, dude, and I want to be able to write off the trip, so why don't you come meet me?
You said Atlantic Aviation.
Yeah.
We may have a little
Okay.
mini 10X Rocon there at Atlantic
Yeah,
Aviation.
what do you do? Yeah, right? What do you do for a living?
Grant, I work in tech recruitment and sales, so I talk to a lot of software developers. I connect them with people who want to hire them, and I get an introductory fee.
That's awesome. Hey, what's going on? What's going on in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia?
So I live a little north of Philly, and Grant, I just wanted to flow some praise to you first and foremost. I've been following you a couple years, and you know, it's weird how you come across people in your life, and I've kind of found myself a little bit more through you being yourself. And I appreciate everything you're doing, from the sales side, the financial perspective side, everything.
Dude, I really appreciate you saying that. I can't tell you how happy that makes me. Come see us at the airport, though. I want to put a face to your ugly voice.
You said Atlantic Aviation, FBO. I would love to come see you, Grant. Honestly, I would love to. I'll take off work. I'd be there in a heartbeat.
Good. Do it. Hey, what's the unemployment over there right now in Pennsylvania or in Philadelphia?
I don't even think about it, Grant.
Yeah, good for you. I think it's 6.5% in Miami right now, in Florida. I'll bet you it's higher than that in Philadelphia. But go ahead. You got a question?
Yeah, I kind of had a multifaceted question. I want to keep it brief. I do value your time. I was just curious what your perspective is on the fund. Are you going to go more accredited over the next couple of months and years? Are you going to open up more non-accredited funds? And, when are you going to turn it into a REIT? Because I'm working with your guy, Patrick, over in Investor Relations. I'm very interested.
Yeah.
I'm not accredited.
Yeah. So look, you know what you should do is you should find somebody that is accredited and invest under their name. Can they do that? Why couldn't they? if I'm not accredited, Ryan, and I call you and say, hey, Ryan, I want you to invest. I'm gonna loan you the 100,000.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna loan you the 100,000 to invest with me. Here's the 100. I give my 100. I'm non-accredited. I give it to a person that is accredited. They invest in the fund.
Well, so look, the question's great because the accreditation rules actually just changed a couple days ago. So you may want to relook for everybody who's listening. Like if you have a Series 7 license, if you have different.
There's ways, guys.
It's not just income or net worth.
It's also the relationship you have with me.
100%
Like how
correct.
much you know me, how much of a relationship you have with me. I think the CARES Act, they just added something that says just because you're non-accredited, they're changing those rules to say accredited is not about an income score, because it's very discriminating to tell people that make $100,000 a year they can't invest with me if they're my cousin, my uncle, my friends, their customers, they know me. Accredited is about how much you know about the investment. So you might want to recheck with your own attorney and then also with Patrick at Cardone Capital and just say, wait a minute, I know you guys, I've been to your offices, I've been to your events, I've read your book, I know you, and because of that, I am accredited, not because I have a certain amount of money and I don't want to be discriminated against being in a good investment because I don't make a certain amount of money, but I do know you guys. So that's what I would tell you. I would tell you, relook at the accreditation laws, because we know they've been changing over the last 18 months, and Ryan's saying this week they finally finalized.
Correct.
Because you guys that are non-accredited, I really want you to be able to invest with me. If you know me, if you're a long-term investor, if you're willing to be patient, if you're willing to understand that we go for these things, we think they're going to do 5 or 6%. They might do 3% the first year, the first few months, okay? They're probably going to do 7 or 8 later. Our goal is for them to do 15 and 18% annualized. I can't promise anything, but if you understand, I put my money where my mouth is. I personally buy these pieces of real estate. It's a long-term investment, not a get-rich-quick. I'm going to be offered some get-rich-quick, take-a-risk stuff in 2021 where I'm like, hey, I'm going to invest $2,000 in this, and there's a real good chance it's just going to go away. And there's a slight possibility it's going to explode. But it won't be real estate, because real estate doesn't work like that. Did you have another question?
Yeah, Grant, I was just curious, maybe a bit of a softball question. I'm in my late 20s. I've heard you say many times, like, hey, you got to develop the discipline to put away 100 liquid before thinking of investing in anything. If I can invest and I'm maybe hovering around 100, I don't quite have it yet, would you just say invest it and go broke, or would you say, hey, be patient, develop the discipline, put them away, and then...
Look, for people that you either have discipline or you don't, right? If you have discipline, you know you have discipline. So I was talking to people, when I said that about the $100,000, I was really talking to people that don't have discipline. I was saying, look, make sure you bank 100 before you start looking for investments. You could do it like this. You could take $50,000 on your way to the 100, and you could park it in something that's illiquid. I want you to actually be illiquid. I don't want you to sit with cash, okay? Because cash that sits will find a place to be lost. It will end up in the stream of lostness in the universe. So you could take 50,000 on your way to saving 100, put it into illiquid investment that you cannot get to. Until you get another 50, throw that in there, and now you got 100,000 stored. I actually don't talk about saving money. I talk about storing money so that you can invest in something, make sure liquidity. Money that's liquid is at risk. Somebody could take it, it could be stolen, it could be lost, somebody could grab it from me. It's definitely depreciating. I want to take something that's basically liquid. I want to move it into something that's illiquid. I know this is not a popular conversation. Everybody's telling you stay liquid. Stay liquid. You know why? Because they want your money. The moment you go illiquid, nobody can get that money. I got somebody asking me for money right now. I'm like, bro, I don't just have money sitting around. My money goes into deals. Those deals are illiquids for 7 to 10 years. 7 to 10 years from now, I'm going to take $65 million. Okay? This is what all I do with money, folks. I take 50 million. I took 30 million last year. I take money and I'm like, move it into that deal, make it illiquid. Move it into that deal, make it illiquid. Move it into that deal and make it illiquid. I do this we do 3 or 4 or 5 deals a year. Okay, and then I wait for 20, 27, 26, 25, then these deals will be ready to be sold. Guess what? That $65 million, just like my kids are growing up, that money's going to grow up. This is going to get lost. It will be worth less in 2028 than it is today. Everybody knows that. Nobody disputes that. This is not going up in value. This real estate I bought in Naples, what do we pay for that? 80 million? 70 million? When I go to sell, it's going to be worth 100. I didn't do anything. I just sat and waited for the golden goose to give me a little inflation, bitches. Let's go. Okay? But what do you want to inflate? This isn't going to inflate. That's not going to inflate. This computer's not going to inflate. This computer's not going to be worth more money today. This is not going to be worth more money in the future than it is today. This is going to zero. This depreciates in value. This real estate that produces cash flow goes up in value. Why? Because you can't build it. These, they can keep building these. These could get more expensive new. Okay, could get, if materials go up, cost of materials. My name's Grant Cardone. You've been watching the Cardone Zone. I just say it like it is. You may not like it. That don't make me wrong. And just remember this, right or wrong, make some money. Make some money, then protect that money. Then last thing you need to do is get your money to work as hard as you've been working for it. Don't lose your money. Make sure you get write-offs. Get you that cash flow and make sure your money grow up like your kids do. In fact, they just keep growing up and don't cost you anything. I'm talking about the real estate, not the kids. Because you know them kids going to cost you forever. Thanks for watching. Please give us a big thumbs up. If you didn't like the show, give me a thumb down, boy. And give me a big ass comment. Tell me why you didn't like the show. Tell me why you did like the show. And please, please let Ryan know. Fix your little squeaky voice. Okay?
Real estate pilot.
And remember, peace, love, and cash flow, boys and girls.